This is the second part, and in that part what we will do is to create the actor. I need to drag and drop, and as I said before, my mouse is not work well, so we need to set up the actor very accurately to these points to have the needed position in space. That's important because from that actor we will finally create the rigid bodies, the collection of markers to track not the individual markers, but to track the corresponding connection markers in each rigid body. So finally it will be support for tracking the whole actor, but in the current version we don't have such a possibility. That's why we need just to track specific rigid bodies, and in next videos I will show how to do that. But in the current step we simply need to do some setup for our markers to have very close the points of rotations. We can have a look in the images of the original markers on our actor to have something very close and similar to what we have. So like if it's the shoulders, maybe we make the actor a bit thinner, and we have this shoulders, we have a head with a cap, we have, and I'm always using for rotation, I'm always using local rotation, and for body parts like elbow, for example, a forearm, and like a knee, I'm rotating only around one axis. It's better to do that to not have finally on the skeleton during retargeting any kind of problems, because it's anatomically corrected to rotate in anatomically corrected axis direction. So in that step I'm just doing some setup to do some scaling according to the actor proportions. Maybe sometimes it can be not very fully the same, but absolutely the same, but close to that. It's better to have. Here I'm using only one direction. Alright, so that's it. This is for stopping the rigid bodies, as I said before. And what we have to do right now, alright, so now I'm turn off the visibility of the actor and maybe even the skeleton part. I'm creating a new marker set, and I need to set up these markers to put them into the specific body part. And maybe in our optical data I need to turn off the possibility for picking points to select only markers and put into the specific body part. So like here, for example, it will be, I would like to use only maybe these 4 points to avoid very heavy systems. Sometimes it's better to track just some markers, the most important markers, instead of everything. Like if the system will be not so heavy, it will be easier and even a more accurate motion. For example, for this point, we have 3 markers. Like, we don't need these 2, because for computing the knee we will need maybe only these 3 markers, and that's all. We can try to use only these 3. We always can manipulate with this setup. For feet we need 4 markers here and 4 markers here. This setup will be used for tracking. For the final animation, you can subtract some marker and use it as the toy, for example, something like that. So here is 2 markers which we would like to use for something like I don't know if we really need 2 markers, but let's try. Okay, well, it will be 2 markers for shoulder and 2 markers for shoulder here, then 3 markers for upper arm, left and right, and then on that side it will be 4 markers for the hand and 3 markers on that side. Okay, that's ready. I don't need to do any snap right now. On that stage there is no need to do any snap, because I can make some adjustments later. But what I need to do is to go to Asset Browser, to Elements, and add the Model Actor. This is the structure for creating tracking rigid bodies, trackable rigid bodies from the actor setup. What we need to do right now is to create to push a button assign. So first of all I'm save a scene to be sure that I have some undo point, and press assign. Now I can turn off the body, and you will see that there is all needed rigid bodies for tracking the markers. And in next video we will set up and prepare these rigid bodies to do some tracking.